Man, this is awesome. It's a beautiful day, isn't it, Todd?
It is gorgeous. Yep, absolutely.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the show. I'm out here on Panama City Beach at Marine Max talking to Todd Hudgel about this gorgeous boat that we're on. What is this boat?
Don, we're on a Grady White 330 Express. Absolutely incredible boat. It is equally good at fishing, cruising, and entertaining. It's just a great, versatile boat. Do anything you want to do.
I mean, everywhere I look on this boat, there's something cool going on, you know, from the engines in the back, from the motors all the way up to the bow here. Maybe you can show me around a bit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, let's take a look. Take a walk up here. Now here we are. We're in the helm area of this 33-foot Grady White, and I got to tell you, man, this is something else. There's a lot of eye candy going on here.
Absolutely. It's a very comfortable boat, Don. Great seating here and across from us. Comfortable centerline helm seat, which that allows the captain to really be a part of what's going on the boat and not separated from it like in a lot of boats.
And I see he's got all these controls at his disposal here.
Absolutely.
To control this boat. Of course, that toggle.
This boat includes Yamaha's Helm Master, which is joystick steering without a bow thruster. You take this stick and you shove it over, and this boat will go sideways. You can parallel park this boat with these joysticks.
Now, you know, all the instrumentation that I'm looking here is not everything. There's more to it, isn't there?
Absolutely. This boat has a hideaway electronics box. Opens up. This is where you mount your GPS and bottom machine, all your electronics.
All your fish finders, all the extra stuff you want to put on this boat. All those electronics go there.
Absolutely. And this box allows you to hide them away and keep them safe. Keep them protected from the weather when you're not using the boat. It's a great, great feature.
That's awesome stuff. Now, I noticed there's a lot of hydraulics going on this boat, and it's also got, you know, a hydraulic steering.
Yep, it has hydraulic power steering in conjunction with the Helm Master system and the twin 350 Yamaha V8s.
Yeah, and you got all these little windows and stuff, and that open up. Now, now down there's a cabin, I guess.
There's a beautiful cabin down
or a
below.
master suite, or whatever you call it.
I'd say some of both. There's a full galley, a bed, a nice dinette area with a beautiful hardwood table. There's also a mid berth under where we're sitting now. The boat sleeps 4 people comfortably.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, great boat for weekending with the family, 2 couples out cruising for a weekend, or a few guys out hardcore fishing. It's just great boat.
So it's a good combination of, you know, comfort and utility for the serious fishermen, you know.
Absolutely right.
You could take this way out into the Gulf, couldn't you?
Absolutely. Wouldn't even look back.
Yeah.
Grady White builds one of the safest boats in the industry.
You know, what I really liked about it was all the creature comforts downstairs. You got that little kitchenette there. You've got a great place to sleep. You've got a head in there that's slash a shower too. And the way that thing just pulls up out of the sink to turn into a shower, I think that's really clever.
There's a lot of thoughtful engineering that goes into these boats. They do a great job of putting the right things in the right places. When you buy a premium brand, there's a lot of things that you get on the boat that you don't even realize until you're on somebody else's boat and it's not there.
Oh yeah, I would imagine. Now, you know, we talked about going way out into the Gulf, but you know, you've got two 350 engines back there.
Oh yeah. The boat has a range of around 300 miles. So 150 miles offshore and back, and you can go about anywhere you want to go with that kind of range.
Man, oh man, you know, and those are powerful engines. How fast could you go on this 33-foot boat?
This is a 33-foot boat that'll get you pretty close to, actually just over 50 miles an hour.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah, very fast.
That's a lot of speed for a boat this size.
Absolutely is. Absolutely.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Well, this is so cool. If we wanted to find out more about this boat, maybe walk around it and check it out, what do we need to do?
Come by and see us at 3605 Thomas Drive at Marine Max, or you can check us out on marinemax.com. Give us a call at 850-708-1321.
Yeah, marinemax.com. Can't beat it. You know, just go out there, click on the Panama City store, and away you go. Todd Hudgel, thanks so much for showing us around this beautiful, beautiful boat.
Thank you, Don. It's good to see you.
All right, man. And we'll be right back after you're waking up with Don weather. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Alan Graham from Counts Real Estate, and also Corey Brookins, who is a home inspector, or a certified home inspector, I guess. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, hey, Don. How you doing?
You know, last week we talked about home inspections and how important they are and the trust that you have in your realtor and your home inspector. How can home inspections actually save you money? They can save you some grief, but can they save you some money too?
Absolutely, and people don't understand that when they've had their roof replaced and it complies with the new wind load codes, that there's an opportunity for you to take that wind mitigation report back to your insurance company and get a significant reduction. I know that on my own personal home, it reduced my yearly insurance rate $900 a year in the policy, wind mitigation. And Corey will go in and do exclusively 4-point or wind mitigation, but I'll let him talk to you about what he does when he does those.
Yeah, Corey, what does that even mean? What is wind mitigation?
Right, I get this call quite often from people. They go, hey, my insurance agent said I need a 4-point and a wind mitigation. Tell me what that is. 4-point is basically just for older homes, essentially, homes that are 25, 30 years old at least. And at that point, the insurance company wants to make sure you don't have any products that have been recalled, defective wiring. They want to know that your roof has some life expectancy, typically about 5 years. That's kind of more of a pass-fail inspection, just to determine if you're insurable. Now, when it comes to the wind mitigation can actually save you quite a bit of money, as Alan had said. They're looking for a couple, key things, not to use too much, technical jargon here, but they want to know, when was your roof last replaced, and was your roof permitted? I tell people this all the time. It's so important that you make sure you get a copy of the permit from your roofer. You'd be shocked how many times I get there. They go, yeah, I had my roof put on 2 years ago. And we go, look, we have no documentation of that at all. Okay. Wow. Typically, when people hear the words wind mitigation, they think clips. They want to know how the roof is connected to the wall. But that's not the only way you can save money. A lot of times people in the Cove, they'll say, hey, we don't need a wind mitigation. I have an older built home, but your roof decking there is going to be tongue and groove. It's going to be extremely strong. Plus, if you have a roof that's put on since 2002, we're going to be able to save you some money there as well.
Wow, I mean, there's a lot there, and I don't know where to begin, but would you typically get that permit that when you get a roof on with your receipt? Is that something that a roofer would typically hand to you, or is it something you really need to ask for?
Yeah, it definitely depends on the roofing company, but yes, you should always ask for it. If you've had your roof put on and you're not sure if you have it or not, you can check with the Bay County Building Department, the Lynn Haven Building Department, Panama City Beach, kind of depending where you are. You can check with all those. Oftentimes the appraiser, the Bay County property appraiser, keeps it on their website as well too. So you can go and look at your own home online and see if they have a record.
Oh, so you can actually find that permit if you don't have it.
Correct.
In
if you
that
don't
stack
have it.
of papers that you that you get when you buy a house.
And if you remember, we had a conversation about a month ago about an unpermitted addition.
Yes.
And the problems that it causes. And putting the roof on yourself or using some of your buddies to do the roof, and they may very well do a great job. But if you can't prove it with a permit, and if you haven't gone through the process of getting the permit, you're not saving yourself any money at all. It will ultimately end up costing you money by not getting a permit.
And not to jump in too much there, Don, but one thing too that Alan's exactly right about is it's not just the shingles themselves. New codes require that the roof decking be nailed down a certain way. And so, if your home was built in the mid-90s, let's say, you might have staples that are holding your roof structure together. Well, now you're required to use an 8-penny ring shank nail spaced 6 inches apart. The uplift factor is huge. And so a lot of times, though, when people they just put the shingles on, they've done it before for their uncle when they were in college, that kind of thing. They don't know that they were required to do other steps as well that, I would say probably about once a month now, we have to have people take a brand new roof and pull that roof off because it wasn't nailed properly.
I know those ring nails are very dangerous things because I remember when we had a roof put on our old house, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, whenever it was, a couple of those nails wound up in the pool, and they always land like pointy side up. So I found one the hard way. But it is important, though, to make sure you get the proper permits. You could be a penny wise and a dollar foolish by trying to do things like that yourself. I mean, I used to patch my roof. I'd lose a few shingles every time there was a big windstorm. So we said, okay, it's time for a new roof. So we went and bit the bullet on it. But I didn't even think to ask for a permit or anything. Apparently, it was okay because I sold the house without a problem. But,
and I inspected the house. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were the inspector on my house. Small world. Well, gentlemen, thank you again for coming on the show and getting us smart on home inspections. And we look forward to talking with you again next week.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Don.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Allison Smith from Herb Effects Landscape Management and Pest Control, and an audience favorite because she always brings cool stuff. What do you got now? And Barbara, you know who I'm talking about because Barbara loves you. My neighbor Barbara just loves you. Yeah.
Oh, great. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. Here's some tips on perennials, I guess. We're talking about.
3 of my
Not that I know a perennial from looking at it. It's only because you told me before we started rolling
Yes,
tape.
they
so,
are perennial,
yeah.
which means they're going to come back every year.
Okay.
And they're 3 easy to grow, very hardy. 2 of which are 2 of my absolute favorites. I'm actually not a fan of like orange and red in the garden, so this really isn't one of my favorite to use personally, but it really has its purpose.
And what is that called?
It's actually called, some people call it goblin flower. I guess it's Halloween colored.
Okay.
Or blanket flower. And one of the reasons they call it that is because he actually seeds out and he'll blanket an area.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, this one, little to no irrigation, full sun. This was the one that beach friendly. So if you have the area, you're close to the beach, a lot of
Sandy
harsh
soil,
wind,
too.
harsh sand. It can take that dry salt air. And again, little to no water, and he will seed himself out and reseed. So he's great for people who want some color, that don't have a very green thumb, because he's just going to make it.
I love this flower because it is very colorful.
It's
right?
very colorful,
and,
yes.
And then
it
when
will
I
take
guess
full sun.
And what is this? Is this ready to bloom? Has it bloomed?
It's already
or?
bloomed, and that's where it's going to dry out a little more, and then seeds are going to fly out of here.
Oh.
So if you don't want it to spread, then you can just keep it trimmed out as the petals. This is a petal that's just kind of passed. If you don't want it to bloom, pop those off.
So whether it's bloomed or not,
It's
it's
actually
still
still
kind of
pretty,
it's
yeah.
still kind of cool looking, you
Yeah.
know, because you've got these little, I don't know what they are, but little seed pods or whatever.
Seed heads, right.
Yeah,
And
it
then
looks
these
cool.
are about to bloom. It will bloom all summer long.
Oh, will it?
It's a very long bloomer and very hardy. I mean, hard to kill. So
Well, that's great.
goblin
I
flower
like
or
'em.
blanket flower.
And I guess we can get those pretty much anywhere at any one of these.
Yeah, these actually, I went to one of our local big box stores yesterday to pick these up. So they're out, they're available.
Goblin flowers, I like
yeah,
them.
cool, huh?
Now, what's this thing?
This is one of my absolute favorites. This is called Gaura, which is hard to say.
Gaura?
G-U-A-R-A.
Gaura.
Gaura.
All right.
But they also call it whirling butterfly because it looks like you've got a little butterfly dancing, and they blow in the
Yeah.
wind. Again, hardy. This one will actually, for the most part, will overwinter. It may get short, but
Yeah.
it'll stay through. Bloom again, bloom May, June, July, August, into September, possibly even longer.
Allison, will these get much taller than this, or?
It's about the height that's going to get, but what he will do, he's not going to spread by seed, but it'll just keep clumping bigger and bigger. So you'll have, over the next 2 to 3 years, it'll
You'll just
double
get fatter and fatter and fatter.
bigger in the yard. Great, very hardy. Again, plus these are great in like cut arrangements.
Oh, I can
throughout
certainly
this-
see cutting that
yeah.
and sticking in a little bud
Yeah,
vase or
great,
something.
great
Yeah.
in flowers. And this one again is very user friendly. I would say about you're going to see it'll bloom really hard, and then all of a sudden you'll notice there's not one new bud coming, and it's great because you can just literally give them a haircut, flush right back out. No special place to cut, just cut it back, and it'll bloom fast again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what's this beautiful looking thing down
This
here at
one's
the
what
end?
you smell a little bit.
Yeah,
you
I do,
smell a little
actually.
garlic. This actually is called Society garlic.
Society garlic.
It is actually in the garlic family.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Oh,
And
yeah.
again,
Yeah, it's a
it'll be
plant,
all
yeah.
over you. This little guy blooms. He's already started now, and he will bloom till frost lays on him. So
Oh,
you're
my.
literally going to bloom all summer into the fall. This is great to mix with other plants, and actually these two look really good mixed together. They're great because the plant itself is kind of low, and then these spike up. You can put something else in front of it so that you're not necessarily going to see the grass, the leafy
Right.
part, and have the purple kind of popping out. They do great mixed with daylilies also. They're mixed together.
So when you do
really
an
good.
arrangement, when you're planting things like, say, maybe a little flower bed in front of your house, whatever, you kind of want to level it. So you have
You do
shorter
wanna-
and then
right,
higher
because
and
you don't want
higher.
to put this
Up in
you want to
front.
put him in front of this, because then you really wouldn't see him as much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you want to look at height,
Yeah.
and almost everything's going to come with a tag and tell you when it blooms
Mm-hmm.
and growth, height, and how far to plant them, that kind of thing. So, but these are 3 that anybody can grow.
And that's about as tall as that one gets to.
Right.
I really like these. I think I'm going to have to go get a few of these.
Oh, they're great. They're
Yeah,
really good.
Because if they're
Yeah.
idiot proof, they're for me. Because you've seen my yard.
Society garlic, blanket flower or goblin flower, and Gaura or a whirling butterfly.
Allison Smith from Herb Effects, thank you so much for coming on the show and showing us these wonderful little perennials.
Have a good day. Thanks.
You do. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Stephen Longo. He's a certified addiction counselor and holds all kinds of different degrees. And actually a very interesting guy. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Stephen.
Thanks for having me.
Now, a certified addiction counselor.
Professional.
A professional, rather. Yeah, how does one become that, and why are you in that field? Pretty obvious question, I think, but I mean, yeah.
No, that's a very good question.
Obviously, you like to help
I'm in
people.
that field because I come from a family, unfortunately, of alcoholics.
Mm-hmm.
My father was not an alcoholic, but he was the child of an alcoholic, which was my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 2 uncles that were alcoholics and 3 aunts. And it touched home.
So at some point you said to yourself, this is kind of a calling, actually, is what it
Exactly.
sounds like.
Yeah, it
and
was.
now you want to, help other people.
Yeah.
So so how do you do that? I mean, there's a lot of little TV
Okay,
shows and stuff that you
right.
see. You ever see that show Intervention?
Yes,
where they have
definitely,
this, the family
definitely.
gets around
Yeah.
and they, call this person out on
Yeah.
on their behaviors. Do you do things like that, or is you have a
I
different approach?
I used to, but since I had my liver transplant and I was recuperating, I came up with a new way of treating addiction and also for helping other people. And that's why I want to expand out of just doing addiction to helping everybody. That's why I want to be, I am a life coach.
Okay, so you're also a life coach, so you don't
Right.
necessarily have to have an addiction problem to come and see you.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely
Okay. Now,
not.
what are some of the things that you would coach us on? I mean, would I go to you and just say, I had a tough day at the studio today, or I
Well,
want to get syndicated. How do I do that?
Okay.
Or what do I do? I mean, what
Okay.
service do you provide to me?
Well, I would ask you, what is a problem you have in your life that you would like, to get the answer to? And you would tell me your problem, and then we would go about looking at what that problem consisted of. And I would say, okay, what do you have in your toolbox right now that's helping you with that problem? Then you look at yourself and you'd say, well, I got this going for me, and I got this going for me, and I got this going for me. And so it doesn't seem so remotely impossible for you to get what you
So
want.
you just kind of drill down into, the tools that are at my immediate disposal, and
Exactly.
then help me show
Exactly.
how to use that. Now, do you still do addiction counseling? I mean, if somebody comes to you with a problem like that?
Oh, certainly. I'll help them. I never talk about addiction. That's the whole thing.
Oh, you don't?
No.
That's odd
The only
for an
time,
addiction
well,
counselor.
that's right. But see, that's the problem. Is that when you go to AA or NA, you stand up before a bunch of people. Hi, my name is such and such. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an addict. Whatever like that. So you're re-traumatizing yourself every time you go into a meeting of all the crap that you've had in your past, and you don't need that.
You don't need that.
No. How can you drive a car forward by looking in the rearview mirror?
Stephen, on that note, we've got to run off to a break, but on the other side of that, I want to talk more about this different approach to addiction counseling.
Okay.
We'll be right back with Stephen Longo. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Stephen Longo. He's a certified addiction counselor and life coach.
Right.
And more life coach now than anything else.
Definitely.
But before the break, we did talk about addiction counseling and what the traditional methods were, like of going to NA or
Right.
NA
And like I said
and
before,
saying, hey, I'm an alcoholic.
yeah, every
and
time
yeah.
you go to a meeting, you re-traumatize yourself. You talk about other people talk about what happened to them. It's always from the past. It's always past oriented. If you live in the past, you have no future. And so my
Don't
idea.
you have to be held accountable at some point?
But the thing is, that was back then. This is now. If you're going to beat yourself up for what you've done in the past, you're never going to get anywhere.
Okay, so what's your approach then? You kind of turn over a new leaf for people, it sounds
Number
like.
one, you have to learn to love yourself. Number two, you have to find out who you are. Number three, you've got to forget and forgive your past. Remember the lessons you've learned. Then you go on to allow your emotions to guide your decisions. Because if you truly allow your emotions to guide your decisions, you're going to be happy. Because when you have it in the brain, it feels good up here, but when it's in your emotions, you feel it in every fiber of your being.
That's like the old Frank Sinatra song, I Did It My Way.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. And I'm
that was
doing it
kind of
my
been my
way.
theme song of life,
Yeah,
actually. It may not be
right.
the smart way, but I did it my way.
No,
So,
it's your way because that's what you were meant to do.
Well, now that you're here, how do people get in touch with you? I know you're setting up some workshops and things
Right.
for people to get acquainted with you.
Yeah, the workshops are called Loving Yourself Happy,
Loving Yourself Happy.
and they happen at Capstone on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month. And Capstone is down on
Sure,
Beck.
we're familiar with Capstone
Yeah.
House on Beck Avenue, right?
And they can get in touch with me by calling me at 265-4785, or at my email address is stephanNML@yahoo.com.
Awesome. Well, Stephan, thank you so much for a fascinating conversation, and thanks for the work you do as well, and thanks for coming on the show. I wish you a lot of luck with this.
Thank you.
And you're certainly welcome back anytime. I'd love to hear how your workshops went. And that is on the
Love to be here.
And those are 2nd and 3rd
2nd and 3rd Wednesday of every
of
month.
every month, starting in June.
2nd and 4th, excuse me.
2nd and 4th.
Yes.
2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month, starting in June at Capstone House. Stephan Longo, the certified counselor. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and we'll see you next time.